What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Mike Rogers of TLO Mike Rogers, and we're here with another gear review. Today, we're going to be doing an in-depth review of the Mammoth Ranger 65 quart cooler. Let's get right into it. Before we get into the specs and characteristics of this Ranger 65, let's just talk about Mammoth as a company. Looks like they've been around since 2006 and they offer a variety of products going from soft-shelled coolers to two lines of hard-sided roto-molded, God, it's so hard to say sometimes, roto-molded coolers. They have their Cruiser line and their Ranger line. From what I read, the Ranger is to keep your ice longer, colder, and for those extreme trips. They offer tumblers, they offer hand sanitizer for whatever reason, and then I mean, I guess that's a good reason for what's been going on lately. And then the cool thing is, I believe it's only for the hard-sided coolers. You could customize it to what you want. So they have some specialty editions on it already. I don't know about the Ranger specifically, but just hard-sided in general, where they have like a crappie one, they have a mossy oak one, and I think they have like an American flag one. Pretty cool if you're into that kind of stuff. So I just got the plain white one, but maybe down the line I'll get the TLO Mike Rogers logo on it. All right, so that's Mammoth in a nutshell. Let's get into the Ranger 65 and talk about the specs, characteristics, and some things I noticed right off the bat. External dimensions of the Ranger 65 are 19 by 25 by 17.5 inches. So that's 17.5 inches is the height of it. So it's about 1.5 feet tall when you're sitting it on the ground. So it could be a tight squeeze for some cars, but if you're rocking a truck or a Subaru like myself, it should be perfectly fine. Okay, so the internal dimensions are a little bit different. They're a little smaller naturally because with those 2-inch side walls that Mammoth claims that this has to keep the ice retention, it's going to shrink the internal space compared to the external space, which is what you expect from a roto-molded cooler. I can't say that word, roto-molded cooler. All right, so the interior dimensions at the bottom of it are 12 by 19 inches, okay? And then as it goes up towards the top, it is 14 by 20 inches with a 14-inch height. So just keep that in mind when you're getting ready to pack this thing full with your deer. I don't know, you want to put an elk in here, big ass catfish, whatever. So those are the internal dimensions. And now let's take a look at the exterior features and what I like and what I kind of would like to change if I had the opportunity. Right off the bat, the first thing I noticed about this was the nylon straps on the side with the rope. And it looks like you can adjust it to how you want, so I could just slide this knot up a little bit. But I honestly like this because instead of you swinging with the cooler, it swings with you, which is pretty cool. And then obviously it has the plastic that could slide up and down on this rope, and it has the grips built into it, if you will. So I actually like this a lot compared to the traditional hard-sided handles that you see on most roto-molded coolers. Okay, the other thing is you notice that there's this drain down here, the drain plug. Let me pick this up a little bit. So you have the drain plug down here. It's just a traditional drain plug. Screws right in, screws out, no issues. I mean, there's not too much you could talk about the drain plug. Exterior, you have the 65 right here, just in case you forgot what you ordered, or just to make sure, I guess, that you got what you ordered. On the bottom, they have these, it looks like rubber, yeah, it's rubber. So it has rubber feet, we'll call them feet, right? Why not? It has rubber feet to make sure it doesn't slide in the back of your truck or car. And I actually had this in my trunk today and I was driving a bunch of windy roads and it didn't move, so that's huge because on the Igloo BMX 52 that I had at one point before the drain plug broke on me, it didn't have this and it was sliding all over the place. Super annoying. All right, continuing. So this is one of the things that I've actually saw it on the BMX 52. These straps, okay, I'm not complaining about the straps. They're rubber like most of the other coolers and they're going down. So, and it looks like they're easy to replace. So if these do break, it looks like it's just a set of 3 screws. Let me bring you guys in. So we're getting a little closer now. Here we go, like family, right? Okay, so it looks like they're just 3 screws and it's just your normal T-latch where you pull down and it lifts up. So what I saw on the BMX 52 is it was actually reversed, which in my opinion, right here, which in my opinion is kind of interesting because by flipping it, you're forcing it to pull down with gravity, which could make a tighter seal. I don't know, I don't design coolers, but that's just an initial thought. All right, let's continue with this slight review. We're almost done though, so there's not a lot to it. So as you see, it has this huge Mammoth. It tells you the specs on here. It tells you pretty much what I already told you, ice retention up to 7 to 10 days. It is dry ice capable of holding, which is cool, thick walls and stuff, and 65 quarts. basic information, which hopefully you knew before you bought this. All right, so if we pop this bad boy up, like I said, just pull down and lift. You open up, and the first thing you see is, boom, another mammoth thing. That'd be cool if you could customize that to whatever you want, but who knows. And then we're just gonna pick you guys up and dive in. You're on a tripod, and that's pretty much what the inside looks like. And we're gonna talk about this in a second. One of the articles that I was reading about mammoth coolers, at least the Ranger series, they're not too prone on appearance. And what I mean by that is they don't care about how they look. And let's be real, it's a cooler. Like, I guess with the word cooler, you'd want to be cooler. Not the ice version, but like looks appealing. Whatever, that's a dad joke. I gotta stop those. But they didn't focus on what the appearance was on this. Their main focus was ice retention, and that's why you should be buying a cooler like this. You want to have pure confidence that it's gonna hold ice for 7 to 10 days, which I said at the beginning of the video, which we're gonna be testing in a second. But just first impression of this, it is exactly what I was expecting when I bought it. I do like that the simplicity of it. I do like the fact that I can bombard this with stickers, and I guarantee you a Tilo My Garager sticker will be on here at one point. But it's just simple, and from what I read, it does its job, and it does it just as good, if not a little better, than some of the other top brands. All right, so let's talk about what you saw inside. So what you saw inside was my ice packs that I bought on Amazon a little while ago. And what I'm in the process of is I'm chilling my cooler. It is super important to cool the internal temperature of your cooler. God, you can't make these videos without saying cooler so much. So you want to chill the inside of it so you can have maximum ice retention. The last thing you want to do is just throw some ice in there, and the internal temp of this thing could be 60 degrees or 65 degrees, or it's been out in the sun or in your garage. It could be super hot, and your ice is gonna melt at a much faster rate. So by chilling the cooler prior to loading it with ice, you'll be maximizing your ice retention. And shout out to Mammoth. I actually sent them a message on Instagram saying, hey, I'm doing an ice retention test on this, and they sent me their article on best practices on chilling your cooler and for max ice retention. So on top of that note, when you're doing this, when you're filling it with ice, what you want to do is you want to get rid of as much open space as possible. And what I mean by that is if you have any air pockets in there, it's actually going to melt your ice quicker as well. This is like a science almost, right? So the best practices from what I've read and seen in other videos and all these other YouTube videos is block ice. Block ice is the coldest type of ice, and it's a firm, solid piece of material, right? I'm going to throw it in here, and then I'm going to fill the sides of it with the cubed ice, and then I'm just gonna max it out as much as possible, and we're gonna start this test. So let's go do that. Let's fill this cooler, and we'll start the clock. I'll let you know what time it is, and we'll see how long this thing lasts. We're back. It got dark. I got this super tiny 10-pound block of ice. I didn't know they came that small. For some reason, I thought they were bigger, but we're gonna move on to the lights. As you see, we got these weird light rays. Like I said, because it got dark. Freaking lines at grocery stores these days. Okay, so we're gonna load that in, and then we're gonna start the timer, and let's just do this. All right, so we're taking out the chill packs, and they're still frozen, which is obviously a good sign. Yeah, super cold in there, and here's that little 10-pound block of ice. I don't know if I should have bought more. I bought 50 pounds of ice, 50. And then I came to the conclusion, or the thought process, like, is 65 quarts 65 pounds of ice? I know quarts and pounds are a different unit of measurement, obviously, but I guess we'll find out. So I got 50 pounds of ice. Here's my block ice. I'm just gonna throw it right in the middle. Okay, definitely could have fit 3 of those for future reference. Let's unload these other big ass bags. And as I look at this, I feel like I should have got more. This is now 64 pounds of ice. And I think as a team, we just all learned something, that 65 quarts is 65 pounds. If you already knew that, don't call me an idiot. Okay. All right, so we are maxed out in ice. As you can see, maxed out. I'm gonna throw a water bottle in here just so we can see it go down, and will show us the meltage rate. We're not gonna go into meltage rate and stuff like that, but just another way you could identify that the ice is melting. Water bottle going in. Okay, water bottle right in the middle. Latch these suckers down. And we're gonna move it to the side just so it's in an area where it hits the sun a little more to give a more real example. It is exactly 7 p.m. Perfect. So 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Might run into a problem. So we are now in the corner of my very tiny backyard, and we're gonna run into a slight problem maybe, because I'm supposed to be going hunting in literally exactly a week, and if this thing's, you know, supposed to be holding ice for 7 to 10 days, I don't know. I don't know, but we'll judge it. So 7 p.m. Wednesday time start, and I'll see you guys once or twice a day. All right, it's 6 p.m., so we're at 23 hours, and I'm gonna do these check-ins at 6 at night every night because we have better lighting and the sun goes down around 6:30. So let's take a look after 23 hours. As expected, full ice, no issues. Day 2, 6 p.m. Okay, we got a little ice gone. Not much, but you can see on the edges. Can you guys see it? The edges have definitely created a gap. All right, 2 days. Day 3. Still good. It's breaking up a little bit, but there's still a crap ton of ice. You guys can see that, right? All right, see you tomorrow. All right, day 4, a little later than usual. Had some family stuff today. All right, lots of ice, but lots of water. See you tomorrow. Day 5. Oh man. All right, so just want to point this out now. For this situation, right, so it's a lot of water. There's a good block of ice though, so you want to keep the water in there because it's gonna help retain the temperature inside. So keep the water in there, don't drain the water if you're trying to hold your ice as long as possible. All right, it's day 5. As I sit here on the day 5 post, just did that right now, I'm going hunting tomorrow and we're gonna run into a little issue. So I'm just gonna take this with me. I mean, I'm taking the cooler with me no matter what, but I'm not gonna change the ice. So we're just gonna have to continue this test while I'm hunting pretty much. So if I get a deer, I'll just drain the water, and that's kind of what you'd want to do. So in a real life situation, if you know you're retaining ice and you start seeing a lot of water, when you get your animal, we're not going to say deer, when you get your animal, just drain the water, keep the ice in there, and throw it on top. That's all you got to do. So, but you want to keep the water in there, like I said earlier, because it'll help maintain the temperature inside the cooler, because the water's still relatively cold, but just a little tip right there. Okay, that's it. So next time you see me or this cooler, it should be in the back of my car. See you then. All right, we got it in there, and this is where we'll be and stay. Definitely need a 2-man lift. That thing was heavy. All right, it's gonna stay here, and then we'll keep you updated. I'll update you guys tonight at 6 p.m. All right, it's 8:30, so this would be day 6 and 2.5 hours. It's been in the trunk of the car since, what, like 12? Lots of ice still, lots of ice. Oh yeah. Okay, it's definitely making 7 days. Wow. All right, we are at day 7. Day 7. Baby's in the shot. Wow, as she's saying. Wow. Lots of ice. Lots of ice. No more ice? Okay. 8 a.m. the next day, so this is 7.5 days. Still plenty of ice. Plenty of ice. All right, I'm gonna move this back to the backyard. All right, day number 8. 8 full days right now. Ooh, man. So this is the block ice that's still holding strong, but I think we're gonna call it 8 days. I mean, we still got pieces of ice, but pretty much null. So we'll say 8 days for the cubed ice, but we're still going strong with this block ice. I mean, that thing ain't going anywhere. So 8 days cubed ice. So 8 full days with some very basic cubed ice, but now I'm very curious, how long is the block ice gonna last? So we're just gonna keep it going. But 8 days cubed ice for the Mammoth. They claim 7 to 10, so they did it. The temperature here has been high 80s, mid 90s. And then I took it in the trunk for my hunting trip and it still held true, and it was about 95 where I was at and in the heat the entire time. So Mammoth's claims are true, but we're gonna keep this thing going. Let's see how long this cubed ice will last until it's just stupid to keep it going. Day 9 for the cubed ice. Or block of ice, block ice. Day 9 for block of ice. And it's pretty much done. All right, looks like we're gonna call it here. 9 days for blocked ice. The challenge is complete. Mammoth is true to their word. They claim 7 to 10 days ice retention, and the ice lasted 8 days for cubed ice, 9 days for blocked ice. I truly do believe if we load this thing up with blocks of ice, it will last much longer. We can do that in another video or in the future, whichever. But Mammoth, thank you for building a very quality product and sticking to your word. I appreciate it. I'm sure all your other loyal customers appreciate it. And that's it for this video, guys. If you want to check out Mammoth, go to mammothcoolers.com. Their link will be in the description. And you guys know the drill. Drop a like, drop a comment, click subscribe, and let's show them what San Diego is all about. Peace.